Hello, welcome to this video that will get you through a flow and might even get you to see things upside down. We'll start in our hero's posture, which means that you will need a block or a brick, or maybe 2 blocks or 2 bricks if you cannot sit between your legs comfortably. So from the back, this is what it looks like. You have your knees together and your legs wide, and you sit in between your legs. Now you can see that, my bum is off the floor. I cannot sit comfortably here. I'm going to use a support so that I can remain in this posture for a certain amount of time. If this doesn't feel quite comfortable for you, you do not have to be in this posture. You could do one knee at a time, so extend one leg and then do the other, or because we're settling into this posture, you may just want to have a little bit more height, so there's nothing wrong with adding another support or a blanket, for instance. Also, you could have both legs straight or cross your legs. Get yourself comfy and let's start. With the palms facing up towards the ceiling, the shoulders relaxed. We're opening the ankles, but if again this doesn't feel quite comfortable, you may have some socks turned up and just put under your ankles to help the ankles gently release. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable, or fix a gaze in front of you. And take a few breaths here, in through the nose and out through the nose, to start to settle yourself down. Settling yourself down mentally and physically. Only so that you can notice what state of mind you are in. I often compare coming to a yoga mat like a little snow globe having been jostled around. So there's so many of these little snowflakes going around in our mind and in our bodies. So here it is, breath after breath, that you can allow everything to release. By now, you may even be able to lift one knee at a time and feel that the skin of your shins as released. Think of your spine now and imagine your breath coming from your pubic bone at the front, inhaling all the way into the crown of the head, into the front of the body. And as you exhale from the crown of the head all the way down to your tailbone, in the back of the body. So let's repeat this visualization of the breath as an oval going around your trunk. Inhaling from the pubic bone into the crown of the head, long in the body. As you exhale, the breath goes back down from the crown of the head, cascading down into your spine towards your sitting bones. Take another 3 breaths. Picturing the breath coming up and down. After your next exhale, you will open your eyes. Allow the gaze to come back through to the center. Take your hands out and take a little bit of movement in those wrists, so you can shake those wrists about, up and down, side to side. You may decide to come away from the hero Virasana posture to extend the legs forward if you wish. Inhale, lift the arms out to shoulder height. Exhale, you're going to turn the palms, the forearms, the upper arms up so that you're turning everything up towards the ceiling and then you're going to turn down. This time the thumbs go down and they may even go behind you as you take some movement all the way into your shoulders. So we'll repeat this 2 to 3 more times. Gaze towards the right arm, see that the shoulder is moving as well. Gaze towards the left arm, see that the shoulder is moving as well. Then take the palms facing up towards the ceiling, bring them to the side of the ears. Interlace the fingers, press the palms facing up towards your ceiling. Again, not comfortable for your wrist, you can just allow the palms to be facing down. And then here, elongate the spine some more. So press the sitting bone down, room's light, and then you lift the sides of the rib cage here. Excellent. Take one more breath. From here, you may release the left arm down to the side, and then keeping the sitting bones on the floor, on your support. And this will work with the legs extended or your legs crossed as well. Back through towards the center, fingers releasing to the other side. Take your side bend here. So the bottom shoulder is relaxed. It's not coming up towards the ears. It's away as if the shoulder tip was going to go back towards the corner of the mat. Come back through towards the center. This time we'll release the arms out to the side. Roll the shoulders back. You can take your hands into fists and place them onto the insole, the inner arches of your feet to stimulate the circulation here a little bit. You may also, if your legs are forward or your legs are crossed, just take the hands behind you, behind your hip bones on the floor. So you open up the chest, you roll the shoulders back. You may even gaze up, so you're starting to very gently lift the sternum up towards the ceiling, giving you an opening into the chest. Bring the gaze back through towards the center. Take the right arm to the outside of the left leg, the left hand behind you or onto the lower back, so that you can inhale and lift, and then as you exhale, you're going to gently take that twist. Gaze back through towards the center, spine comes back through towards the center. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, left hand to the outside, right hand to the lower back or the floor. Gaze back through towards the center, the spine comes back through towards the center. This time let's all come up onto our shins. If you are already cross-legged, stay where you are, however. You can remove the supports, slide the legs out to the side, and then extend the legs forward. So they might have got a little bit dead. So let's take some opening and closing into the ankles. So if you are cross-legged, you might not need to do this, or you might want to join us by extending the legs forward, and then from here, open and close, so flex and point those ankles. Let's cross the legs, and if you had your legs crossed, you take the opposite crossing. From here, we're going to inhale, lift and relax the shoulders. Another inhale to lift the arms if that's comfortable, otherwise you keep your hands down to the floor, and then you'll hinge forward, starting to stretch into the lower back and the hips as well here. Take one more breath. See whether you can reach forward a little bit more. Inhale, gazing forward. Exhale, slowly and curling yourselves back up. Let's come onto our hands and knees. Hands free if you can, so using your core control, you're going to come into the hands and knees. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Let's exhale, crown of the head down and the tailbone down. Inhale, drop, so you're like a little hammock. You're allowing the tailbone to come up, the chest to drop. Good, let's do this again. Exhale, push the floor around into your back. Inhale, soften and drop the spine. Good, one last time. Exhale. Inhale. Coming back through to the center, take the knees together, extend the right leg back, and this time you have your weight onto the ball of the toe so that you can stretch maybe a little bit more back. So my right hip is going back a little bit, then I'm going to allow it to gently come back to the center, release the knee to the floor. Over to the other side, so you extend the leg, you come onto the ball of the foot, you stretch back. You come back through to the center, knee to the floor. Here, let's take the left hand, about a hand further forward. Let's take the right arm up and follow it with your gaze if you can. And then as you exhale, you come through and under. And again. And through. And again. And through. Come back to the center, place the right hand in line with the left hand. We'll change this on the other side. Remember too that if having the hands flat here is a bit too much pressure, you can come onto your fists for your wrists essentially. Left arm comes up as you inhale. As you exhale, you come through and under. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale back through towards the center. Sit back onto your heels, knees wide or knees together, and release the hands behind you. Next from here, let's inhale and lift up. As we exhale, let's come into puppy posture. So you extend the arms forward, your bums above your knees, and you try to release the chest down. So you stretch into the front. Inhale, come back with the hands under the shoulders as you look up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, you round into your spine. Inhale, you look up. Exhale, let's sit back into our heels, into our child's posture. Let's do this once more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, slide back into your cow or hammock. Exhale into your cat or rainbow. Inhale again. Exhale, release. One last time. Inhale. Exhale. Puppy. Inhale into your cat. Exhale into your cat. Inhale into your cow. Exhale into your child. As you inhale, slide the hands as far forward as they can go onto the top of the mat, aiming to keep your bottom towards your heels. Come back onto the hands and knees, tuck the toes, shift yourself into a down dog where you bend the knees heavily to start with. You push the floor away from you with your hands. And then here, providing that you can relax
the head and allow those shoulders to go back in towards the trunk of the body. You're going to push the thigh muscles towards the thigh bones and the thigh bones towards the hamstrings. So you're gently pushing back, keeping the heels lifted still, but this starts to straighten the knees, and then eventually, if you want to, you release those heels down towards the floor. Let's inhale and lift the right leg up towards the ceiling, and then make your way forward. Several ways of doing this. See that it's comfortable for you to bring the right leg all the way to the front. Help it along if it needs to. Knee down to the floor. Inhale, lift into your lunge. Let's stay here with the arms lifted. Perhaps you can even gaze towards the palms. They're facing towards one another. See whether the little fingers can turn towards the back of you a little bit so that you can lift and fill that length into the sides of the body. Then release the palms facing forward and down to the floor. Tuck the back foot, take the front leg back into a three-legged door, one-legged dog. Legged door, not seen a legged dog before. And take the right leg back into your legged dog. Good. Let's take this on the other side. Remembering transitioning from the down dog forward. I have a short tutorial on this. And then the left leg comes back all the way towards the front. The right knee releases down. And then we can inhale and lift. Several areas where you may feel this. Now perhaps you can gaze towards the palms, straighten the arms a little bit more. See whether you can turn those fingers facing towards the back of the room so you get even more length into the front of the body. Then the palm turns forward and frame the front leg. Let's come back into our three-legged dog. Our three-legged dog. Left leg goes back. And we release to the floor. Good. Let's take some more of this. So right leg lifts. Right leg comes forward. Left knee comes down to the floor. Inhale, lift the arms. This time, you're going to open the arms wide and out and back, and then you can take the hands, interlacing them, lift the shoulders. You can also use your belt here, where you'd have your belt as an arm extension, and then you open up into your chest. Release the hands, lift them up. Left hand comes forward under the left shoulder. Right arm keeps opening. You may even step the right leg out a little bit to allow for more space turning. This time you're going to take the right thumb turning back and then frame it behind your back. So you're open to the side here. Then pressing onto those feet, you're going to lift yourself back up. Turn the torso back through to the front as you lift the left arm. Big extension into the front of the body on the left. Couple of breaths. Then let's release all the way back down again. Take the hand back up. It comes to the front. Coming to your three-legged dog. Right leg lifts. Right leg releases. Let's take this over to the other side. So the left leg lifts. And then the left leg comes forward. Right knee to floor. Inhale, lift your arms up. Then release the hands behind you. Release the arms back up. Take the right hand under the right shoulder, step the left leg out a little bit, open your torso towards the left thigh. Those arms are stacked. You could be onto your fists, onto the right hand if you wanted to too. Left thumb now turns towards the back wall, then slides towards the right side of the waistline. And then from this, you can lift yourself up, turning the torso facing back towards the front, and take the right arm up towards the ceiling. Then we'll release the right hand down to the floor. Take the left arm and take it down to the front. So you frame the leg again. You take that left leg a little bit more in. Tuck the back foot. The front leg comes back into your three-legged dog. And then you can walk. You can step. You can jump your feet all the way through towards the front into a forward fold. Have a hold of the elbows if that feels comfortable, or hands to the shins or the thighs so that you're halfway there. Whatever feels good to you. You're going to slowly bend the knees, take the hands on top of the feet and then curl yourself back. Making your way all the way back to standing. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Right leg back. See whether you can this time leave the right knee up off the floor as you inhale and lift. Exhale and release. Front leg goes back into a down dog. Up onto the toes, forward into a plank or a half a plank. And then you can release nose, chin, chest, and releasing yourself all the way down to the floor. Forearms, lift the chest. Release, hands to the side, tuck the toes. You can briefly come back into a child's posture to then lift back into a down dog. Right leg lifts, right leg comes forward. See whether you can keep the left knee up off the floor. It's an option, you don't have to do it. Good, release the hand down, back to the floor, back leg steps to the front, crown of the head down, bend the knees, sweep. And then take the hands in towards the chest. And again, to the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Left leg goes back. Option knee to floor. Hands down. Front leg goes back into your down dog. Up onto the toes. Forward into plank or half a plank. Crown of the head comes forward and then you release yourself down. And then take a back bend of your choice, whether it's a sphinx, a cobra, an upward facing dog. Sit back and come straight back into a down dog. Left leg lifts, left leg comes forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Back leg steps forward, folding. Bend the knees, inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands in towards the chest. Release the hands out to the side for a couple of breaths here. From here, let's take the weight onto the left leg. Lift the right leg and take it back into a high lunge so that you are hip width apart. You're going to lift your arms up here. Then release the outer edges of the back foot down to then take the right hip forward and the front hip back into your warrior one. Arms come out to the sides. They will interlace behind you again. If you can, remember to use your belt if you need to. And we'll come into a humble warrior. Let's press onto those feet, hinge forward, stretch into the back as we come forward and take the arms maybe a little high up. Let's stay here for a breath. And another one. press onto your feet. Inhale, come back up. Release the arms to the front. So you're back into the warrior one. Then we're going to release our body, torso, releasing to the side. So you need to take the adjustment into your feet so you're coming to your warrior two. Front heel in line with the inner arch of the back foot. Arms extend out. Gaze towards the middle finger of the front arm. Turn the palm up. Take the hand down and then come into your reverse warrior. You might gaze forward, you might gaze up, you might gaze down. Then inhale, come all the way back up through towards the center. Hinge forward, release the forearm down to the leg. Top arm can stay to the hip or turn so that the palm is facing towards the floor and your fingers are reaching away from you. Feel the elongation, the length into the side of the body. From this, let's see whether we can lift the top arm, take it to the hip. Straighten the front leg a little bit, take the left hand to the thigh, slide the back leg in, and then the knee will go over the ankle as we now lift and come into a half moon. So we open up, we lift the leg. We can have that left hand dangling down. We could have a brick. Top arm up. And then let's come back to the warrior two. Bend the front knee, release the back foot down, arms up. And release the hands down to the hip. Straighten the front leg. You can stay where you are on your mat. I'm going to start on the other side. So I'm back to here. Taking a couple of breaths. This time my weight is onto my right leg as I lift my left leg and step it back into a lunge. I'm going to inhale and lift the arms, then release the outer edge of the back foot down to come into my warrior one. Arms out to the side, interlace the fingers or release them to the lower back or have your belt. And then come into the humble warrior. Press firmly onto your feet. You're coming to the inside of the front leg, allowing the head to dangle down. One more breath. And one more. Lift yourself back up. Release the arms out and then rearrange your feet so that the front heel is in line with the inner arch of the back foot into your warrior two. From your warrior two here, let's turn the right palm up, the left arm down and take your reverse warrior. Let's come back towards the front. This time, right forearm onto the right thigh, left arm, the palm can turn to then come over the head and reach. Again, this one could stay to the hip or up. Relaxed into the shoulders, quite light and loose into the arm that is on the leg. Then from this, you're going to take the top arm to the hip. Straighten the front leg a little bit to take the hand to the thigh. Slide the back leg in. I'm going to have to shuffle a little bit. And then from this, bring the knee a little over the ankle. Lift the leg. Keep the hips facing towards the long end of the mat. Have the hand dangling, really push into the back foot. And then you can have the arm up. Coming into our Ardha Chandrasana, the half a moon posture. You could still be onto your side angle here or have the foot released to the floor. Then you're going to bend the front knee to release back into the warrior two. Straighten the legs, take the hands to the hips. Have your feet parallel. So come to having the feet parallel, pressing the big toe mound, the little toe mound, the inner heel and the outer heel onto the floor. Inhale, lengthen into the front of the body. Exhale, hinge yourself forward so that you're into a long spine, so the bum sticking back, the crown of the head is forward. Take the hands down into the floor if you can, or into the back of the legs, and release the crown of the head down. If you feel you can go a little wider, you can take the legs out a bit more. Make sure there's no discomfort in the knees. Inhale, come back up to a long back with the fingers on the floor. Stay there as you exhale. Inhale, hands onto the thighs, you press and you inhale, exhale, come all the way back up. You can pigeon to the feet back through towards the center, or you can jump them back in. Be again at the top of your mat. We're going to inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Take the right leg back and the left leg back. Pressing the hands down to the floor, up onto the toes. Inhale, left, and you're going to come into a plank. So we're going to work a little bit more into our core. Here, as we are into the plank, you could have the knees to the floor and come into your half a plank. Otherwise, see whether you can still engage the core, then lift one leg and maybe place your big toe and the toe next to it into your Achilles tendon, into the back leg. Essentially just rest one foot on top of the other. And then release, take a break if you need to, or go straight to the other side. And then from this, back into a down dog or straight into a child's pose. Because now anyhow, knees to floor, sit back onto your heels, hand behind you into your child's posture. Take a break for your hands, for your body. And then slowly and curl yourself back up. Slide the legs out to the side. Take those legs forward. Bend the knees and take the fingers to the toes. From this, you're going to slide your legs forward. In my head, it's seamless, but really it looks like a spider crawling on the mat. You try to keep that connection of your belly towards the legs so that when you come to this variation of Paschimottanasana, your salutation to the west, you will not be able to go any further than what feels good to your back and feels like a good stretch. So you release the head down if you can, closing your eyes. Take a few more breaths here. Then inhale, gaze towards the toes. Slowly and curl yourself back up. Take the feet flat to the floor. Slide your bottoms down towards your heels. In preparation for what we're going to do, I would recommend to have a blanket that you can take to have a little bit of support. So for now you can leave it to the side. We're going to come into a bridge. So here, as we allow the back to rest a little bit, we can take the arms out to the side and very gently take the knees from side to side, rocking them, not going all the way down to the floor, simply to bring a counteraction to that forward bend that we just did. Then come back through to the center, really press your feet down. Remember that you may even use a brick between your feet to support your knees and keep those knees in line with the hips. Keep the hands, the palms, forearms and upper arms flat to the floor. You're going to inhale, lengthen the tailbone, press onto your feet and curl. So you're going to lift the thighs, the pelvis, the belly, the ribs, the shoulders. And if you can, you're going to roll over onto one shoulder to take the other one under. Then again, you can hold onto the side of the mat and push the mat away here. This will keep you lifting into the upper body. You could even interlace the hands underneath your body, taking the shoulders away, backing down a little bit. It's really useful for the next posture that we have planned. Then release the hands, release the shoulders, release the upper back, the middle back, the lower back, and the buttocks. Really completely taking as much space against the ground as you can. Allow the knees to knock in and the feet to separate away. Let's take a couple of breaths here. The next posture that we're going to take is a plow. You could either come back forward into that Paschimottanasana that we did, taking hold of the toes and then slowly folding forward, if taking the legs above the head and behind you is not an option you wish to take right now. You could simply give it a try. So from here, I'm going to place my blanket here so that I've got this smooth end that will just give a little bit more space for my neck. I imagine my legs are as long as a supermodel. In truth they're not, so I'm probably not going to hit the wall, but just in case. Here I'm going to align my shoulders with the top so that I have some space on the floor. And then lifting the legs, taking the hands behind, I'm going to take my legs behind me. They may or may not touch the floor. You could also use a brick and place this under your feet if you're just a little bit short of space, or if you're just about there but not quite. You aim to have your elbows pointing towards the top of the mat, parallel. This depends on your shoulders. From this we shall come into a plough. So if you were doing this on your bottom and coming forward into your Paschimottanasana, you're going to curl yourselves back up. Then roll back down to the floor and maybe place a brick underneath your bottom so your legs are lifted. If you feel that you may not be able to lift all the way into a shoulder stand. Trying to lift. I'm a supported shoulder stand here. My hands are against my back. Again, you're aiming, your intention is to have your elbows, actually your hands on the floor even if you can support this. your back and have the fingers pointing towards the top of the mat. If you want to try this, you can do so. You're gazing softly towards your toes with your feet pointing. And then you can bend your knees, take the knees to either side of the face, slowly release the handstand, and with control, very gently release your upper body all the way down to the floor. Stay here for a few breaths. So your feet are flat, your knees are up. Very gently now, take your feet a little bit more towards the left of the mat. Take your hips to the left, take the knees to the right, and come on to your fronts. You can take the support away from underneath you, your blanket away. And then here we're going to have the hands forward and the legs back and the gaze down. Inhale, lift the head, the right arm and the left leg, but take your neck or gaze towards the left arm and then release. Back through towards the center, lift the right leg, the left arm and gaze towards the right. Let's repeat this 2 to 3 more times. So you inhale everything to the center and down. You exhale, opposite arm and leg, and your head looks towards the hand that's to the floor. Once more. Come back through to the center. Take the hands under your face, your cheek to one side. Allow the buttocks to soften. Hands under the shoulders, tuck the toes, bring yourself back into a child's posture. So maybe you bring the knees back in. Sit back onto your heels. Hands to the side of the knees, slowly and curling yourself back up, only to now shift onto your back. Come to your back with your feet flat and your knees up. Few breaths with your feet flat, knees up, back releasing. Take the arms to shoulder height, have the toes and the heels and the knees together. Inhale, as you exhale, topple the knees over towards the right side. And adjust here. So perhaps in order to keep the toes and the heels together, you might need to take the feet a little bit more towards the long end of the mat. See what feels comfortable so that you can rest and gaze over towards the left side, if that's good for your neck. Both shoulders relaxed on the floor. Bring the gaze back through to the center, the knees back through towards the center. The left side of the body will have stretched a little bit more, so if you need to rearrange your feet, press onto the back of the head to lift the torso and have a little wiggle. Again, toes and heels and knees together. This time, allow the knees to topple over to the left. Have a little investigative breath or two to notice if you can release comfortably on the left side, and if there's anything that you can do to make this posture more comfortable. And eventually you may gaze over towards the right side, closing your eyes. Bring the gaze back through to the centre, the knees back through towards the centre. Taking the hands a little closer to the side of the body. And then extend one leg, extend the other leg, allow the feet to roll out to the side. Make yourself comfortable as you take your restful posture of Shavasana. Breathing in through your nose, and breathing out through your nose. Giving yourself the time to rest. Giving your muscles the time to take on board all of the postures that they've had to help taking along with your skeletal and your mind. So your mind, your body and your breath have worked hard together. Let them rest. Let the fingers curl. The back and the buttocks to relax. The feet to turn out. Let the breath be soft and shallow. Let yourself recuperate.
when you feel ready to. Allow the awareness of your senses to come back into your body. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Take the arms over the head and stretch. Stretch your legs forward, stretch your arms back. Let's take 3 cleansing breaths here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale loudly through the mouth. 2 more. And the feet come back flat to the floor. The eyes open if they're not already open. Roll over onto one side, curled up into a ball. Press yourself back up to a comfortable seated posture. Take a couple of breaths to notice how you are feeling right now. Let's inhale. Release the thumb to the forehead for kind thoughts towards yourself and others. To your lips for kind words towards yourself and others. And to your heart for kind actions towards yourself and others. I salute you. Namaste.